Why hello human beings, how you doing today? My name is Little Q and thank you for visiting the channel. Now today we have to do another video on Rome Rush. I know somebody say I mispronounced his name in the comments, so Rome Rush. And he's talking about the SSD and how it's expandable. And he says some stuff in there that I really disagree. I realize his comments section is actually on his side, and I think that he's not capable of strong criticism. So that's what I'm here for. Now I do want to do more videos on other people, but every time I do a video, I find out he's doing a video. I have to do it first because I feel like he's not knowledge about certain things. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the video, and I would want to remind people, thank you for the subscription. I hope I earned it. And remember, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I am gonna go ahead and do a Nintendo Entertainment System Lego build with the TV, and I'm also going to have one to give away. So sit back, relax, and watch the video. Okay, we're here at the video, and he's talking about people fake mad about the PlayStation 5 SSD. Now, you're saying people fake mad. There's some people out there that actually genuinely mad because now the PlayStation is not convenient to put any storage into the system. And we're gonna go into that. And he think I'm an Xbox fanboy, which I'm not. I'm more of a PC enthusiast. So I just don't get where he get the Xbox thing. But we're not gonna bring Xbox into this consideration. We keep an Xbox out of this because I can still argue with his points where with a PC set of mine, and he can't argue that I'm going to pull up Xbox. So for now on, no Xbox, PC. So let's get into the video.
What's going on, YouTube? Scruffy Rome is in the house. No shave Rome. Hey, I want to talk to y'all about the PS5 SSD situation and the fake anger. I'm compelled to make these fake anger, response videos about.
Well, first of all, it's not fake. There's some people out there that genuine mad about how PlayStation is doing their SSD. Now, if you want to hear my opinion on that, I'm happy that PlayStation is doing M.2 SSDs. In my opinion, I think that's a better storage situation because you get faster loading times with M.2 SSDs. Now, with M.2 SSD, all it does is fasting loading. And if my PC could handle the fasting loading, that's fine because my PC definitely could hold the fasting loading. I could add Gen 3 and Gen 4 into my PC. Now, the problem I have with that is people don't want to open up their systems to plug into the M.2 SSDs because if you think about it, a whole bunch of kids is going to play PlayStation, and they're going to they want to go ahead and tell their mom they need that M.2 SSD to add more PlayStation on there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you probably have the disc version of the PlayStation 5. Well, you got people out there that still have the disc version of the PlayStation 5. I mean, the disc-less version of the PlayStation 5 as well. So if they want to add more PlayStation 5 games on there, they got to go ahead and get a M.2 SSD. So with that, me being thoughtful about other people, yes, in my opinion, good thing, they increasing the speed. Bad thing, it's not easy for other people because they don't want to deal with that. They rather have a plug and play situation. And what I mean by plug and play, I know systems now is not plug and play anymore as far as putting the a drive in and just play the game, download the games on there, play the game format. Is a whole bunch of steps with that. But let's continue.
People who don't give a care about the situation with the PS5 SSD. That's just the truth. It's just all in.
Rome Rush. When you say truth or fact, you have to bring evidence. You cannot go ahead and sit there and say that's the truth without evidence. That's why I'm not going to sit there and say truth or facts until I bring the information for the evidence. So that right there, you got to bring evidence. I'm not going to believe you until you bring proof of evidence. And yes, you got to show me evidence. You could send it to me through the comments. You could send it to me through email, stuff like that, so I can see the evidence. You just can't sit there and say truth or facts because I could disregard your argument without truth or facts. That's just how debates work. That says how you get the information out there. You got to bring the information, or it's not true.
A collective effort to make the PlayStation brand look bad. It's cool. Just know that it's a wasted effort because there's a lot of people out here rejoicing over the fact that you have freedom and choice. Don't that sound familiar? Of what kind of SSD you want to use.
Let's talk about let's talk about the freedom. Let's talk about the option of choice. With my PC, I can have options of adding any type of drive. I can add a hard drive. I can add a SSD, 2.5-inch SSD in my PC. I can have a choice of adding an external drive to my PC. I can also have a choice to add an M.2 SSD in my PC, either with heatsink or no heatsink, and not just the Gen 4. I can add Gen 3, Gen 2, Gen 1, and I got so many options. I could use a Chinese brand. I could use a American brand. I could use a Taiwan brand. I got so many options in that situation. But with the PlayStation 5, I don't have all that options because there's a thing called you got to have a certain run speed. And don't give me the excuse because if you're going to bring out options, you got to place down all the options. You just can't bring out, well, it just only work with Gen 4 SSD at 5500 speed. Then you only have the option of those drives because now your only option is now limited. Where on my PC, I have a whole bunch of options that been released. I can use anything that I want and it work on my PC. While you only got the limited options to use a Gen 4 with a speed read of 5500 speeds. So your option is still limited. And that's where I kind of disagree with you on your option. Yes, you got options, a little options, not a big option. You have a small little option. But let's continue.
In your PlayStation. I think it's beautiful. I've been installing uh, storage devices in my PlayStations since the PS3. I've installed a 500 gigabyte into my original 60 gigabyte model, the AO1 PS3. I put in 2 terabyte in my original PS4, the first PS4, the launch PS4. I put a 2 terabyte in that bad boy, just a regular 2 terabyte, 5400 RPM in it. I put a SSD in my PS4 Pro, a 2 terabyte SSD in my PS4 Pro, and it's magical.
I want to bring this up because now you're thinking about yourself, but you're not thinking about the whole entire group. And this is where I want to say this: just because you're doing it, you're a niche audience. Like with me, with my PC, I'm a niche audience for my PC because my PC, I'm a PC enthusiast. I build my PC. It costs more than anybody. I mean, than pretty much PCs that's out there that people run their games. My PC is like about over $3,000, but I wanted to spend the money on that because I'm a PC enthusiast. But you could have somebody that buy a PC. They could buy a used Dell with a used graphics card, and they could still play the game. I won't bash them down because they still play in PC games. That's that niche audience. You also got you got that type of audience, but you also have an audience where they don't want to build a PC, but they could go out to store like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, even Costco's, and they could go ahead and buy a gaming PC, plop it down, put a monitor on, and they could play the games. I could recognize those type of markets. So just because I build my PC, I am a niche audience of being an enthusiast of building my PC. So I'm not going to go ahead and put my experience on everybody else. While you put the drives onto your piece on your PlayStation. That's fine. I'm not going to sit there and say give me evidence, but I know some people that could do that. I know there's multiple people that do that. So my bar of evidence right there, I know people do that, so they could do that. But most people, I'm saying the majority people, is not going to do that. They probably going to put an external drive in there, or they just going to go ahead and do that because they don't want to open up their PlayStation because there's a warranty that they probably still have on there, and they might mess it up. So you have to understand that there's some people out there that don't want to do that.
Samsung Evo A60, that is. Got that puppy. As soon as got the chance, put it in there and saw a performance increase. Definitely, it was great. Honestly, um,
The only performance that I know SSDs do is load the game up fast. Let me check that out. Actually, I already got it loaded up, so we can see what do SSD performance do. What type of performance SSD do? Give me 1 second. So I'll pull up the PC Gamer website. Excuse me, cancel that. And they say how do SSD affect gaming performance. I heard a lot about SSD before but how much of a performance difference between really made for gaming. It depends on what you mean by performance. So it depends on what you mean by performance. If you have frame rate issues, a solid state drive isn't what you need. Your GPU is a key component there. A upgrade to an SSD will not make a difference. The point of installing games on an SSD is the drastic reduce of load time, which occur because of the data transfer speed of SSD, over 400 megabytes per second. It's slightly higher than a HHD hard disk drive, which generate drivers up to 170 megabytes per second. SSDs can also reduce hitch in open world games, as our friends at Maximum PC report back in 2010. Hitch is what Intel Adam Link called brief pause in game where they can't pull aside from hard drive fast enough to keep up with the players. Okay, so what they saying is all it does is load the game faster. It doesn't affect graphics. Uh, it doesn't affect graphics. It doesn't affect the frame rate. It doesn't affect none of that. What SSDs do is they load the game faster than a hard disk drive. Now, technology is still evolving. Hard disk drive is still evolving as well. If people want that hard disk drive, they could put it in there. Me, if I want a hard disk drive, I'm expecting to buy a bigger hard disk drive for cheap. Like I could get a 16 terabyte, which is fine by me. I could just put games on there if I want to. But at the same time, they have faster hard drives now than before. So if you're talking about load times, then yeah, that's probably a performance upgrade. But at the same time, it doesn't affect graphics. That what GPU use. It doesn't affect frame rates. That what a CPU does. So what kind of because if even though you put a SSD into your console, you still was getting 30 frames a second on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. Well, I think some games was going 60, so you performing 30 to 60 frames a second despite on the games that you use. So as far as performance, like you said, it only load the game faster. So what type of performance are you talking about? Because that's all SSD does. Load the game faster. And this is what I mean by evidence, Road Rush. You have to show where you get your information. And this is why I'm showing my information. So now you can't call me a liar. And guess what? That's what they say. This right here is facts. Show me facts and evidence. I just show you the evidence and facts right here, what an SSD does. So you can't just say that it does better performance, only it loads. All right, let's get back into the video.
and it was a breeze. Don't get me wrong. It had some, you know, there was some steps you had to take to put it in there, but it wasn't that big of a deal, right?
And that's what I mean by you're only the minority. Like you saying it takes some steps, but it's not that big of a problem. What about the majority of people that don't want to do that? You're not taking that into consideration. This is where we saying that you're not thinking about other people. You're only thinking about yourself. Where me personally, I'm thinking about other people. Yes, it's amazing that PlayStation 5 is doing SSD, like M.2 SSD. It loads game faster, but at the same time, I could understand why people can't do that. And that's fine. Because they probably just don't want to go over to there. Or they're going to say, oh, this is just like PC. I'm just going to go to the PC. You're not acknowledging those options. You're the minority, but the majority of people don't want to do that.
But it's nothing compared to the difference now. The difference now and putting adding storage to your PS5 is a breeze. It's a snap. It's actually a lot easier to put in a PS5 add storage to the PS5 than it ever been in PlayStation's history of installing storages. I would almost equate it to sticking a memory card in a in a PS2. It's almost that easy.
No, it's not that easy. Because I want to go ahead and go to the websites that I actually pulled up. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm on the PlayStation page for beta user how to add M.2 SSD to a PlayStation 5. They going to say important. So, okay. So you're saying how easy it is. You got to update your software. Okay, what an M.2 SSD? It gives you the information on M.2 SSD. M.2 SSD device are high speed solid state drive medium that PlayStation 5 beta user can install, upgrade to the storage capacity of their PlayStation 5 console or PlayStation 5 Digital Edition console, which I think is more important for the PlayStation 5 Digital to use it because that's the only way they could download games. Separate purchase required. We recommend varies of a variety that you receive a beta invasion before purchasing a new M.2 SSD. All right, why add a M.2 SSD to your PlayStation 5? Once installed in the PlayStation 5, when installed in the PlayStation 5 console, M.2 storage can be used to download, copy, and launch PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 games. So, right there, it only launched PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 games at a faster rate. That's what SSD do. I understand that, as well as media apps. Again, you download programs on there and you can launch it. That's fine. This allows you to increase the storage space available to your own onto your PlayStation 5 console. You can freely move games between the PlayStation 5 console storage and connect USB extended storage drives, and they add M.2 SSD storage. So it just adds more storage. It doesn't perform better. It just loads files a lot faster. That's what SSD do. I don't know where and I heard what PlayStation fanboys say is, oh, they doing like 3D audio and stuff. I mean, you can still do 3D audios on storage like hard drives. It's just it loads faster, which I don't understand where they come in with that. It's just it's just a program that you can add on anything. So that doesn't make sense to me. Which M.2 SSD can be used with the PlayStation 5 console? It's important that you only use a supported M.2 SSD to expand your PlayStation 5 console storage. Make sure you're using the M.2 SSD that meets the following requirements. Oh, so you gotta meet the following requirement, aka it limits your options. So you don't have a whole bunch of options. It limits your options. As this is a beta, please note that the final specification charge may change ahead of the official system's software release. So if that's the case, when they this is where I think PlayStation messed up. They using you as a beta. They're using the PlayStation players as a beta, which I think that's kind of wrong. They should have got this situated when the PlayStation 5 release. And I think they taking advantage of you because if you brick your system, that's on you. So I don't agree with what they're doing with the SSD using you as a beta. I think they should have done this before the PlayStation 5 had been released. They could have waited, but they didn't. They wanted to make the money and not understand that businesses want to make money. I could take that. I could take that in consideration, but at the same time, this right here is horrible. They're using you as a beta tester, and if you break your system, that's it. You can't get a replacement. Um, I think I read that. Let's see, it's portion that. Okay, so I did read that. All right. M.2 SSD requirement for PlayStation console. Okay, so this is what it is right here. Here go the information. Interface PCIe Gen 4 times 4 M.2 NVMe SSD. You only can use you only can use Gen 4. With my PC, I can use Gen 3 and Gen 4. If I want to get Gen 5, I could switch my motherboard. But Gen 5 haven't came out. This is where I think PlayStation messed up. They should have just let a wide variety, but hey, it's whatever. Capacity 250 gigabytes to 4 terabyte, which I don't agree with Crap Gamer, where he say that you don't format the SSD. You always have to format SSDs to work with your system. When he say, oh, you don't get I didn't have to format it. No, Crap Gamer, you have to format stuff in order to use for that system. I have to do it for my PC, and you have to do it for your PlayStation. I don't see how you say you can't format it, and you get the full terabyte. You're not going to get the full terabyte because it got to be some data so you can use the M.2 SSD. I mean, to use the storage. So, Crap Gamer, I disagree with you on that, but yeah, you're not going to get the full 250 or 4 terabytes. You're going to have to format it. Cooling structure using an M.2 SSD with your PlayStation 5 console require effective heat dissipation with a cooling structure such as heatsink. You can attach one to your M.2 SSD yourself, either a single side format or a double side format. There are also M.2 SSD that have cooling structures such as heatsinks built in. This is why I think that PlayStation mess up. They should have just gave you a cooling heatsink they could place on top of it. So because if PC could come with it, PlayStation could come with it too. Speed read, special read speed, 5,500 megabytes per second or faster is recommended. And this is where I say that a lot of people don't understand. I can use any speed I want on my PC, but with PlayStation, you gotta have a certain thing, so that limit your options. Because there's cheaper ones out there that people just want to spend money on. If it doesn't work, then that's a waste of money. Form factor M.2 type 2230, 2242, 2260, 2280, and 22. Those are numbers can be found on retail listing or M.2 SSD devices. The first two digits refer to the width. The remaining the remaining is a length. Okay, so that's what I didn't know. You can use all kinds, but at the same time, people are not going to know what size it is because some SSDs are going to be smaller. So that little screw that's in the PlayStation 5, not only you got to unscrew it, but you got to unscrew the screw that's supposed to set the SD. I mean, so you can set the M.2 SSD down. You got to move it to the side, screw it in, and so on and so forth. That's common on PC. Socket type, socket 3, key 3, total size include cooling structure in the millimeter smaller than 110 millimeter length times 25 millimeter width times 11.25 millimeter height, and inches smaller than 4.33 inches times 0.984 inches times 0.442 inches. So the heatsink gotta be a certain size, so that limit your options. Where me, I could add anything. There's a heatsink on my system. Boom, I already got heatsink. Length, the following M.2 length are compatible with the PlayStation 5, 30 millimeter, 40 millimeter. Okay, so I give you the length, the width, and then the height right there. The size below on the board is less than 20.5, so on and so forth. And then this is what they're giving you, the option. You could go ahead and check this out. I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit. And give you more information if you want to go to the PlayStation website. So you not only if you got a bare SSD, you also gotta get a heatsink. So also they tell you how to install it right here. I'm not gonna read it all. So you gotta pull your PlayStation off. You gotta unscrew it. You gotta take that off. You gotta go ahead, unscrew that, but you also gotta unscrew that. Then you gotta place it in there. Then you gotta make sure the standoff is corrected on there. Plug it back in, and you should good. How to remove it. It's the same thing. Boom, boom. It's the opposite way. So how to install it and everything. Go to your game library, move game apps when you M.2 storage at more. Okay, can I use that? All right, so that's so many steps compared to memory cards where you just plug and play. How hard it is to plug and play. Now, ROM Rush, you know very well you gotta do extra steps compared to a plug and play. Even if I'm not mistaken, with the SSD 2.5, you just take it off and then you just connect it and then you plug it back in. This right here is way different than the PlayStation 3 and definitely a PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1. This is not convenient. This is PC level. Even though it's not hard for me, but how PlayStation made it, PC is a lot easier to install a M.2 SSD than a PlayStation. It's not easy for people that don't want to do it. It might be easy for you, it's easy for me, but you know what we call ourselves? The minority, not the majority. So how is this easy for somebody to go to the store, have to buy that, and so on and so forth?
The difference is you got a couple screws to pop, and that's it. Well, no, excuse me, one screw, one screw.
Technically, it's 3 screws. Taking off the lid, that's 1 screw. Taking the SSD screw out, and then if you got a certain thing you have to do, you have to unscrew the thing. So it's 3 screws. So you gotta put it over, make sure it's fitted. Then you gotta put the screw in so it can stay there, and then you gotta put the case over it and screw it down. So it's 3 screws. You have to take the side panel off. Okay. You gotta take this screw off right here. Let me show you a little bit. You see this screw right here? You gotta screw off the cover. Then you gotta make sure you take off the second screw. And guess what? This is a screw too. So you gotta make sure that screw is off. That's a standoff. Then you gotta make sure the heatsink is on. So that comes with more screws. So you gotta make sure the heatsink in and it gotta fit in. So now you gotta put the standoff screw in, and you gotta put the other screw on top. And then you gotta put the cover back on. So how many screws again, Rome Rush? I just show you there's 3. And this is where I think PlayStation messed up. You see all this right here? Is that even necessary? All that plastic. I'm being dead serious. Is that necessary? Because on most M.2s, on motherboards, even the basic motherboard, it doesn't have all that plastic on the side. It comes with a heatsink on top. So you just put you put the heatsink on there, you screw it on, and then you place the heatsink on top, and you screw the heatsink on. Is that even necessary with all that plastic? And why did PlayStation not give you a heatsink with the PlayStation? That's where I'm trying to figure out. If PC could do it, how come PlayStation can't? You see what I did, Romush? Do you see what I did? I showed you evidence that you're wrong in that situation. There's more screws that you have to deal with. So, you say 1 screw? You're wrong in that situation. There's 3 screws. You could have went to PlayStation website and figured this out. You didn't. I don't know what to say, man.
To pop. And that's it. Pull the side off, pop the screw, boom, stick the thing in, bam. It's over with.
No, because there's more steps. You gotta make sure the heatsink is on. You gotta make sure all that stuff is on. PlayStation messed up in this situation. They could have gave you a heatsink. Of course, it got a cover, so they could have put a heatsink on the cover. They messed up, man. They messed up.
And you got extra storage. People out here talking about something. Yeah, this should have made it easier. What about the soccer moms? What about... Bro, let me tell you something, man. If there's a product that's out there for me, I'm not thinking about no soccer bombs. I'm not thinking about nobody else. All I'm thinking about is That product works for me.
Congratulations. You want to know the reason why people call you a fanboy? Because of this situation. Let me rewind it for you one more time. I skipped a couple more. Editing it again. So Rome Rush. Rome Rush. You want to know the reason why people say your idea is making you a PlayStation fanboy? Do you know the reason why people is telling you that you're a fanboy? Let me tell you, this is it. Now pay attention to what I'm about to replay for you. Because I want you to listen.
Bam, it's over with. And you got extra storage. People out here talking about some, yeah, this should have made it easier. What about the soccer moms? What about, bro? Let me tell you something, man. If there's a product that's out there for me, I'm not thinking about no soccer moms. I'm not thinking about nobody else. All I'm thinking about is that product works for me.
You're just proving to yourself that you're the fanboy. Yes, you're a niche person. A company is not going to think about you. You're not the only person that they're trying to sell the product to. You're not thinking logically. You're thinking about yourself. That's the reason why people is calling you a fanboy. You're one stingy, unappreciated person to think about nobody else but you. Think about that in the business set. Think about that as a business set. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and make a product, but it's just going to be for me. Are you going to make a lot of money from that? No, it's not going to happen. A company got to make a product for everybody else in the world. I'm thinking about other people. When I build a PC for other people, I'm building it to their liking. The PC is not meant for me. It's meant for somebody else. That's why when I build a PC for somebody, I ask them what they're going to do with it, what they like. Do they want lights? Do they want no lights? Do they want how many? I mean, do you want RAM? Do you want storage? What type of storage you want? I ask all these questions. You know why? Because I want that system to be for them. I don't make the system for me because if I make the system for me, for them, they're going to spend more than $3,000. You don't think about nobody else but you. And that would make you a fanboy. I'm thinking about everybody else in the world. You're thinking about you. Don't think about you. Because now people calling you a fanboy because of you. Your opinion is all about you. My opinion is to think about everybody else. And you calling yourself your opinion and not making you a fanboy, look at your video again and see where people is saying it. And I don't trust your comments, dude. Your comments is praising you. And that's why I'm here to criticize you, dude. You don't think about other people. You're thinking about you. And to me, I think that's one of the mess up things that you could ever say. And you don't even recognize what you're doing. Quit thinking about yourself. Think about how this is going to affect other people. If PlayStation go down and they don't make no sales because of this, you could look at this video because of that. They didn't make it for everybody. People don't want to go ahead and install SSDs into their PC. I mean, into their PlayStation, because if that's the case, they could have. They saying I just might as well go to PC, more power, and if I gotta install that M.2 SSD, it's easier. You don't think about that. You don't think about the whole horizon of people. You're thinking about you and yourself. And to me, I think that's one of the most disrespectful, more delusional thing you have ever said. And I'm not joking. You're a fanboy. Matter of fact, no, you're not a fanboy. You're a console peasant. Get your console peasant mind out of that and think about other people.
You know what I mean? So when people talk about what about the soccer moms and all of this stuff like that, and when they say stuff like, yeah, this is not as easy and I got to get a college degree and a student loan in order to get this and put an SSD in here, look, that's all of that is narrative. People out here mad. Some out here is actually trying to clout chase. They trying to do all of this crazy stuff to generate this unnecessary, ridiculous buzz over something so minute and so simple. It just doesn't make any sense.
How is it simple? You have to find out the speeds. You have to find out the size of the heatsink. You have to unscrew 3 screws. You have to do all of that. It's not convenient. What PlayStation did is they made a trash PC. That's what they did. You're not thinking room rush. You're not thinking. Think about other people. You're not the only person in the world that PlayStation is supposed to cater to. People have valid reasons why they don't want to do this. You don't think about that room rush. Come on, man. Think about that. People don't want to do it. And that's a reason. And I understand that. You don't because you're thinking about yourself. And this is why people call you a fanboy. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your own plastic box. And you're thinking about to defend PlayStation. This is one of the dumbest things that PlayStation did. To me, I'm happy that they increased the storage. Finally, I'm happy that they use the M.2s. Finally, but how they give you less than a terabyte on your PlayStation, and not only that, they using people as a beta for hardware. If they mess it up, they can't replace it. If you mess yours up, man, I don't even blame it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even blame it. You say one screw, watch. If you mess it up, that's not my fault.
It don't make any sense at all. And it's just crazy how people, the internet just run with these narratives. Just, well, some people, because the majority is, there's more people rejoicing over this thing.
Give me evidence. Give me evidence. Give me solid evidence that people is rejoicing. I agree. It's a great thing that they increasing the storage, which it should have been increased in the first place. That's still not slipping out from my fingers. They should have did it from the beginning. And I'm happy they're using M.2 SSDs. The problem is that a lot of people that you say that's complaining about it is not happy because they gotta take apart their PlayStation. People don't. People out there don't want to do it. I understand that you want to do it. That's fine. I could do that with my PC. I'm also okay with it. But you're not taking into consideration about other people that don't want to do it. That's what making you a fanboy. You're accepting places for doing something that most people, I don't want to say most, that some people don't want to do. And you're like, oh, you could just do it. Nobody don't want to do it. Even crap gamers say that he bricked his PlayStation. He had to go through so many customer service to try to figure out what's wrong with his PlayStation. Do you not understand how this is one of the most? To me, I think in my opinion, in this situation, what PlayStation did, they should have waited 1 year. Should have waited, but they didn't. They released it. They should have waited 1 year, in my opinion. Make sure all the glitches and the bugs and the SSD to work. Crap gamer bricked his PC. I mean his PlayStation. Come on, man. Crap gamer now going through some steps that PC's got to go through, and he's happy about that. Why don't you call PlayStation out for the stuff they doing? That would make you a fanboy.
Than it is actually people. Just when you look at, matter of fact, when you look at those people out here talking about soccer moms and all of this crazy stuff, look at them like they're crazy. Poke, laugh at them, and all of that stuff. Just do that. If they,
Are you serious? Are you serious? Poke and laugh at them? I got no respect for you, dude. I'm done. I really want to do this video, but I'm done. I'm done. You don't deserve this video. I'm done with you after this. I'm done with you after this. You're on the level with J-Tech. You're on the level with J-Tech. Poke and fun at soccer moms for something that they want to get for their kids, and if they gotta place it in, they might break it. How dare you? How dare you? You don't deserve to get the rest of this video. I'm very upset with you. How can you not say? And I saw it later in the video that your whole entire your whole setup is cluttered. Your whole setup is cluttered. Get out of my face, dude. You don't deserve the rest of this video. You're trash, dude. How can you go ahead and sit out there and you got somebody trying to buy somebody a PlayStation 5 digital? They break it. They can't do nothing about it. How dare you, dude? How dare you? Don't think about other people. I'm thinking about other people. You're a console peasant. You're a console peasant. You're next to JTech, dude. You're trash. You're trash of having that mentality. Options. You don't have the options. You have to get a Gen 4 drive. You don't have no options. You don't have nothing. Get on my face. You're done, dude. You're done. I'm done talking about you. I'm done doing videos about you. You're one selfish. You're one selfish human being, and you can't think about other people. Anyways, that's it with the video. I'm sorry, everybody. If I earn your subscription, thank you very much. This dude, I'm done with him. He's not getting the rest of this video. Anyways, send a Q out. Sorry about the intro out.